I rested the side mirror precariously on the candelabra. I rested the side mirror precariously on the candelabra. I secured the mirror in place with some yarn. That should do the trick. Now that was something. The light from the candelabra spilled over the Black Madonna like waves of spiritual goodness in candle form. The hammer produced a promising sound. F sharp. G. B. A. G. I had it. It was the tune Dwayne was humming.
Josh, that's Ave Maria. Let me have a go.
Wow, you really nailed that, Nico.
Yep, this mop really is pretty special. Leave this to me.
Pumpkin? Oh my!
What?
The sound of angels, the lights of heaven, the smell of piety, and
Yes?
the Madonna, I do believe. Tears. She's crying, Dwayne. The Madonna's crying. Little Timmy. Wrong side of the road. Not my fault. The broken leg. Compensation claim. Forgive me, poor Timmy.
Oh, Pearl, my precious, you're such a sensitive soul.
Well, now that's done. I feel my soul's floating on air. We can get on with our pilgrimage, Dwayne.
Just another 1,000 clicks to go.
Pearl was back to her usual cheery self. Pearl was back to her usual cheery self. Mrs. Henderson,
George, dear boy.
how you feeling?
Oh, just fine, thank you. I have just seen a miracle, George. It's all gonna be all right from now.
I'm sure it is, Mrs. Henderson. I'm sure it is. So, Pearl, what have you been up to since we last met?
Well, George, I've been on a journey.
Oh, really? Well, what kind of journey?
A spiritual one. A journey along the road to enlightenment.
Wow. And is that what brought you here?
It is. Though Santa Cova is but one step on that road.
What's so special about Santa Cova?
It's an ancient and very holy place. I've spent the last year researching it, and I can truly say there is nothing I do not know about it.
I don't suppose you'd know anything about that rock out there?
No, only that for 1,000 years, people have claimed to see a face in its shapes.
Still, keeping busy, Dwayne?
Like the man said, George, that old kaleidoscope keeps getting shaken, and the pieces are ever in flux.
Guess it's your job to pick 'em up, huh?
Well, somebody has to do it, compadre.
I enjoyed talking to Dwayne, but I was rarely any the wiser afterwards. What can you tell me about the statue?
I read that the Black Madonna has been here since the 9th century. She's called the Virgin of Montserrat. Some say the original was moved to the cathedral. But Dwayne and I know that's just a bluff, don't we, honey?
We sure do. This one is the real McCoy.
What can you tell me about Santa Cova?
Well, dear, they call it the Chapel of the Holy Grotto. It was built directly into the mountain itself in 1696. It survived the Napoleonic Wars, mudslides, Civil War. But the chapel is still standing today. It's a miracle.
Or a restoration.
What was that, dear?
Yes, a miracle. Hey, Pearl, take a sniff of this.
Takes me back to Dwayne in his frat house days.
Dwayne, know anything about this?
Sorry, George, I don't.
I was sure he didn't want to see it. So, this ball of yarn, what do you think?
I think you're a lucky man to have it, George. Keep it.
Take a look at these papers.
That document has the Vatican seal on it. Oh, you better keep it safe, honey. I bet there's some people who would love to get their hands on it.
Oh, you have no idea. What do you make of this?
It looks like an Ouroboros.
Oh, you recognize it? Let me show you something else. Can you tell me anything about this painting?
Oh, nothing, dear. Apart from the obvious Gnostic connotations, of course.
What?
You know, the Dominicans. All those Gnostic saints. Doubting Thomas, Judas. And you see the woman in the red cloak? The infamous Mary Magdalene herself.
A lady in red.
That's enough now, Dwayne. You know my feelings about her.
Pearl knew her Gnostic onions, all right.
Then there's the Ouroboros, of course.
Something special about it?
Well, if I remember rightly, there was an Ouroboros right here in this chapel. Back in the 30s and 40s, the chapel was renovated. The workmen uncovered numerous symbols carved in the rock. Amongst them was a fine Ouroboros.
But that's amazing. So, where is it?
Oh, it's not there now.
Oh.
It was considered blasphemous, so they plastered over it. Sweetheart, I think it's time for us to go. The road to enlightenment waits for no woman.
'Tis the pilgrim's lot, George.
It was so nice to see you again. And meet your girlfriend.
We're not...
Take this radio, Nico. Never know when you might need it. Keep an eye on our boy George here.
Poor little lost lamb.
I'm not...
Don't worry, this little lamb's in safe hands. Bon voyage.
Bye-bye, dears.
See ya. Nico, don't even start.
Little lamb?
Let's focus on the task in hand, shall we? Okay, this Ouroboros that Pearl mentioned...
You're right. We need to find it.
It was a recess in the rock with Puritas carved above it. It was a wall of rock. Nope, I needed to try something else. That was never going to work. I hoped this was the right thing to do. Hey, Nico, I found the Ouroboros.
So what now?
Pearl was right. The plaster had covered an Ouroboros. The medallion matched the Ouroboros in the wall. A modern plaster altar had been built against the rock. I pushed the Ouroboros, but nothing happened. I pulled the Ouroboros, but it wouldn't budge. The medallion matched the Ouroboros in the wall. I pushed the Ouroboros, but nothing happened. I pulled the Ouroboros, but it wouldn't budge. I pushed the Ouroboros, but nothing happened. The medallion matched the Ouroboros in the wall. I'd already found the Ouroboros. There was no need to damage any more of the chapel. The Black Madonna was clearly the focal point of the chapel. I pulled the Ouroboros, but it wouldn't budge. That wasn't worth trying. Nico? Anything new on the chapel?
Not yet.
I found a statue over there. A Black Madonna.
Great! What did you find out about it?
That's all I got.
Well, it's not a lot to go on.
Got any ideas?
If the Ouroboros represents hidden knowledge, maybe there's something else we need to do before it's revealed.
What do you think of the incense?
Smells familiar?
Just like church?
Not quite, but it'll do.
How come your Ave Maria sounds so much better than mine?
Catholic upbringing.
How do you like my lights, Nico?
They look heavenly, George.
Lots and lots of candles. I already had a candle. The view over the valley was spectacular. I pushed the Ouroboros, but nothing happened. That would be pointless. Nope, I needed to try something else. That was never going to happen. I placed a candle in the recess above which Puritas had been carved. I pulled the Ouroboros, but it wouldn't budge. I pushed the Ouroboros, but nothing happened. What was that noise? I knew it. Another secret passageway.
Amazing, George. How did you do it?
Just another case of the old Stobart magic, I guess, Nico. It looks a little dark in there.
Are you scared, George?
Of course not. Just worried about you tripping, that's all. Whoa, this is one dark cave.
It's the door that worries me, George.
Well, I'm sure the door will open again if we give it a minute. No need to panic. Now we panic. Help! I gotta say, Nico, you're pretty calm about this.
Traveling with you, George, I've got used to this kind of thing. If I panicked every time a door shut behind us, probably forever, well...
You're right. What was I thinking? You see if you can get the door open, and I'll go check out the dark, evil-smelling cave.